My junipers are turning brown and dying. I removed one of my junipers because it was almost completely dead and put it in the garbage can. The next day I noticed all these worms covered in dead cedar from the shrub attached to the container. Are these insect worms the reason my junipers are dying? What can I do? And this is Chris right here in Memphis. So are these insect worms the reason my junipers are dying?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's again, they're a caterpillar. BT controls them, but the best way to do this is to look in May and June. May and June is when they start attacking the plant, and a lot of people the plant's all green, so a lot of people don't notice them. But if you start looking at your evergreens, then it could be they get on all sorts of things,
right.
you know. But if you start seeing parts of it move and start investigating, you'll see the bagworms are starting to very little, but they keep moving around the tree and eating on it. Spray it with BT then, and you'll have an easy chance of controlling it. And if you say, well, the tree's too big, I would put it in one of those
one of those
hose in dial.
Yeah.
You dial the appropriate amount, and then you hook it to your hose, and you can get a lot further up into a tree with your evergreens. Okay. And so it'll control, BT will control it.
BT will do that early though.
You got to get early.
You got to get them early.
May and June.
Early.
That's right. No, that's May 15th. I'd be out there if you've got a history of problem. I'd be spraying them. But that's exactly right. Bagworms. And I've seen them on a fence before, on a wire fence.
And we are talking about bagworms, right?
Bagworms.
Bagworms. We're talking about bagworms, of course.
Yes.
And once they get, form that little bag from the little twigs, and they wrap that thing up, pretty tight with that little silk.
Right. Yeah. Too late now. He doesn't need to worry about it now. Yeah. Probably not going to kill those junipers. He thinks they're dead, but they're probably going to leave out. It's not going to do them any good being defoliated going into the winter.
Right.
But they'll probably leave out next spring.
Yeah, it doesn't kill it. If it can get bad enough, it will eventually if it keeps doing it every year after year, because it's not going to get enough chlorophyll to produce nutrients for it to go in the roots for it to come back out. But if you can stop the cycle, then you can probably save the plants.
Yeah, they look pretty bad,
Yeah, they do. They look like they're dead. They may not be 100% dead, but they do look like that.
Yeah, especially again if your cedars are already stressed from drought-like conditions.
Yeah,
correct.
And you can get just one thing after another.
Right.
They pile on top of each other, and sometimes plants can't survive from all of that. Yeah. But don't leave the bagworms there over winter, because the female lays her eggs in them, and they stay there, and that's what's going to come out next year. Because you have them, I would start scouting in May and apply the BT.
Yeah, and the female will produce a lot of eggs. She produces those eggs, and then she actually dies. Yeah.
Pick them and then use your propane torch to burn them. I've actually seen them defoliate shrubs. I've seen bagworms so thick they would defoliate shrubs, and a trail of bagworms going across a sidewalk over to another shrub. Wow. They would leave the shrub and go drag their cocoon, and I've seen that before, and that's something to see.
And actually some of them, especially the smaller ones, actually will quote unquote fly through the air. It's called ballooning. So they actually spin that little silk thread and will actually catch the currents, and it's called ballooning to get to another plant. Isn't that something? Bagworms are tough.
And that's why they get on all sorts of stuff.
That's why they're on everything.
You see them on deciduous trees and everything. They can just be anywhere.
Everything.
They're hungry.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, subscribe. We have hundreds of family plot videos for you to view.